Good morning, and sorry I'm a minute too late. I'm living in a bit of a time zone. I've just looked at my clock and it says it's 20 to 9, which I know it very definitely isn't. It is actually just gone 8 o'clock on a Monday morning, and it's time for us to go live, so welcome. It's still very dark here, so I've got all the lights on, so hopefully you can all see. So do pop on and say hello if you're coming live. I've got my glass of water. We seem to have coughs and sore throats and all sorts of things doing the rounds here. So let's ward those off as long as we can. So here we are. What have we got? Just under 10 days now, I think, till Christmas, haven't we? And we're going to be decidedly un-Christmassy this morning. We're going to be we've dipped back to the Annual Catalogue and some of the beautiful things that we've not yet played with, and this possibly is one of the most beautiful things. And what I have forgotten to do is bring through my project that we made at a class last week, but I'll do that for you on Thursday, because we're going to be looking at this beautiful friendship stamp set. It is a beautiful stamp set, and it is very easy to create stunning projects with really very little effort. We like those, don't we? So it is just a stamp set. There's no dies or anything to go with it. It's just the stamp set, but it doesn't need anything to go with it. It stands on its own beautifully. Thank you very much. So there's some little projects here that have been created with it, and we are going to case one of these today. We're going to have a little go at this one, so it comes into focus a little bit. So we're going to have a bit of a play with that one, because it gives us a chance to play with quite a few of the stamps in the set. So it is very floral and very sort of watercolory effect, which is lovely because it means it's very forgiving. You know, you can miss off a little bit of the stamp, not quite stamp it properly and all those sorts of things, and get away with it very easily. So a lovely stamp set. So we're going to have a play with that this morning. So the week ahead, I have just one more class to do before I finish for Christmas, and that is on Wednesday evening at Great Doddington. So if you're living locally and would like to come and join us on Wednesday evening, you would be very welcome. Other than that, I really need to I have a Christmas tree waiting to go up. I still haven't marzipaned my Christmas cakes. I was so good at getting them cooked this year. Still haven't marzipaned them. Really haven't got into the whole Christmassy thing. I think there's been so much going on for us as a family that hasn't really been a top priority. But that needs to become a priority this week, to get prepared and ready for Christmas next week. So that's some of the plans for this week, is to tidy things up a little bit and get ready for that. But I shall be here on Thursday to do a live, and hopefully I shall be able to manage one Wednesday morning as well this week. We shall see. Let's keep everything crossed. Everything that you have two of, keep crossed. So what are we going to do this morning? So we're going to play with this beautiful friendship set, and it is a photopolymer stamp set, as you can see. Mine's been loved. Wherever you use the reds and the pinks and the purples and those sorts of things, you tend to get staining on photopolymer, but we're not going to worry about that because they still work beautifully. And you've got these lovely floral images, and you've really got some nice greetings. Birthdays are the best days. I love our beautiful friendship. A very big congratulations and best wishes to you. So very happy to know you. So some really nice sort of sentiments that you can use for all sorts of occasions in there. Now, one thing I've just suddenly thought of is, I think I've been busy working in all sorts of places. I've got bits on the dining room table, I've got bits out here, I've got bits in boxes, and I think I've left my blocks in the other room. So let's dig out my other set of blocks. That is not an issue. We have more. Okay, and let's start on this card. So I've already cut some pieces. So this is a piece of the in colour DSP 6x6 DSP stack in Pretty Peacock, that sort of gingham effect. It's got this nice pattern on the back, but we've gone for the checked. I've got a piece of Whisper White now, and this is cut at 14.4 by 10, and this one I've actually cut at 13.4 by 9. I've given a centimetre around the edge of that just because I wanted to see a little bit more of that paper. And the card base itself, I thought I would cut it long way, so I'm going to actually, rather than cut it at 14.9, I'm going to score it at 14.9, and then I'm going to swing this round and I'm going to cut it at 10.5, just like that. Tuck that out of the way for a minute, and that will give us a side opening card as opposed to a top opening card. And I quite like, if you're having them this way, to have them sort of side opening, because I think they just have got a bit more rigidity. They're just a bit more sturdy as they're standing on the mantelpiece. So there we have our Pretty Peacock card base, our Pretty Peacock DSP, and our Whisper White matte to go on the top. So that's our basic layers for our card. Let's pop those to one side for now, and let's start having a little look and a little play with these stamps. So what we're going to have, and let's just punch that out so we've got an indication of sizes, we're going to use a Pretty Label punch out a Pear Pizzazz Pretty Label that's going to sit in the middle here as our greeting. So that gives us a guide to where we're going to lay up our stamps around it. And it also means that if they overlap and look a bit messy in the middle there, that doesn't actually matter. So let's find a block for that stamp. This is quite a big stamp. And I'm going to take some Seaside Spray ink and ink up this big stamp. Stamp that coming out of this corner. Then let's ink it up again. And we'll stamp that coming this way. Beautiful. So you do get sort of this variation in the colourings on these stamps. They are lovely, and it is an distinctive stamp, which is why you get the sort of different shadings and things automatically on those stamps. Right, so now we're going to take this little rose, I think. Let's find a block for the little rose and some Rococo Rose. We've got quite a few sort of the in colours in this one. We'll ink that up. We'll have a rose at the top here. And a rose down here at the bottom. There we go. And we're also going to take a little piece of scrap paper. We're going to stamp a couple of roses on there, and we're going to fussy cut those out in a moment. Leave those for a second. Let's bring in our Pear Pizzazz and There's a couple of different leaf stamps in here. We're going to bring in this one that's got sort of 3 leaves on it. And we'll have some leaves coming down here. We'll have some leaves coming down here. And I think we'll take this other leaf. Let's just swap that one off the block for a minute. And I've got the little 2 leaf on there, and I'm going to add in some pretty peacock leaves round and about. And I'm also going to add some of these onto here. Let's go for 3 sets. And then also in the pretty peacock, I'm going to take this little bit of flower heads, and we'll add some of those in. I think I might put some more leaves in down the bottom here. It's the nice thing about these sorts of cards, you can just add in more elements where you think they're needed. Right, let's see how we get on. We're going to, oh, I can't lift that up off the mat. We're going to have this layered in the middle, and we're also going to have some of our fussy cut flowers in there. So let us cut those out. Just find some scissors. My scissor charm sort of trapped through my scissors, it won't let them open. Okay, so we're just going to fussy cut some of these flowers. One coming up the top here somewhere, and another one coming down the bottom. Excuse me while I'm just having a think about what I'm looking for. Oh, that's what I want. I want some white embossing paste in a minute, powder in a minute. There we go. Had embossing paste last week. Embossing powder this morning. Let's just cut that little bit off. Trim off this little edge just there. Have this one coming down here somewhere. Let's snip some of these leaves. Now they are going to be tucked under the label, so I'm not worried about cutting that little bit off just there. We'll just come around the top leaf section and leave a little bit joined at the bottom to stick underneath. these ones out. And we'll cut the other one more set for good luck. I'm not being ever so precise cutting out these leaves. Oh, I'll lose that little white border just there. Let's have this one coming out just here somewhere. Looking good. Okay. So let's find some foam pads on these. Actually, I may not stick them on yet. I may do that after I've stuck my label in place, just all ready to stick my label in place, just so I know where they're going to go. But I will stick some leaves on there. Let's just put a little bit of tombow on the back of that flower. Oh, lost my other flower on the floor. Come back. So we'll stick some leaves on that one. And have some coming off of that one. And then these ones I will probably stick to the back of my label, which I've now buried underneath tombow. So I should probably put those on that end just there. Let's do that now, then we won't lose them. And that can come on that end just there like that. Right, now we're going to pick up one of the greetings. The one in the catalogue has this "so very happy to know you," but I think I'm going to go with "I love our beautiful friendship." I'm sure that will still fit on this label beautifully. Yes, it will. And let's get ourselves a block. Right, let's lay that down. Let's do this properly, Helen. Let's lay that down. I'm going to line that beautiful up on the grid line because the friendship is intended to be a little bit wonky. There we go. Some Versamark. Let's get our embossing buddy and rub that across there. Ink up our stamp. Stamp that on there. Let's bring in our white embossing powder. Ooh, those leaves make useful little handles, don't they? There we go. I love our beautiful friendship. Let's heat that up with our heat gun. Pop the lid on there while we're heating up the gun. Lovely. that out the way. Pop those out of the way for a minute. And then here I've got some of this white spotty jewel ribbon, and I've also got some silver thread. Let's find some tear and tape, and we'll put some of that on the back of here. So that it will hopefully grab our ribbon and things. Off you come, number one. Number two. Let's wrap some silver thread around our fingers. Give that a bit of a snip. Not supposed to be sticking, it's this bit that's supposed to be sticking. Let's just stick that down on there. So we've got some wispy silver thread, and then we'll take some of our ribbon and we'll swirl that across the back. Let's go back once more with feeling and slip that off. Looks very messy on the back there, but we've got a whole lot of texture and things going on the front there. So now what we'll do is we'll take some of the bigger dimensionals, the full size dimensionals, we'll pop those across the back here. I'll have one on each end for good measure. And get these backings off. My thumbnail is broken off, so it's a bit shorter than is possibly useful for doing this job. So we'll pop that in the middle there with our bits of thread and our ribbon, and then we've got our little roses. Let's take the backs off of these. That thumbnail is just a little bit too short too. Now, actually I think I'm going to tuck that over the top of those silver threads, sort of almost catch them underneath it. And we'll do the same with this one on the bottom here. Just like that. How beautiful is that looking? Let's take our Tombow and we will attach that to our DSP checked paper in the background there. And then we'll take that whole topper and attach it to our card base. How beautiful is that? So you've got all those beautiful flowers in the background, in those mainly in colours, with the exception of the Pear Pizzazz label on the top, a bit of white embossing, some tulle, some silver thread in there to give it sort of different textures and things going on. just beautiful. And it, as I say, the stamp set is called Beautiful Friendship. It is a truly stunning stamp set. It is really lovely, and it doesn't take very much effort to create a really beautiful card. And as I say, with it being very forgiving, it's sort of it doesn't matter if you're not absolutely spot on, because the whole style of the stamps is that it's very forgiving and you just get away with it. So really brilliant for simple stamping. If you're just sort of starting out and want to create something wonderful without too much effort, then this is certainly a stamp set that you want in your collection. So thank you for joining me, my beautiful friends, on this sort of still quite dull, quite dark. I think it might be a bit overcast and cloudy, which is why it's struggling to get light this morning. Thank you, Arlene. But yes, so thank you for joining me. It's been lovely to have you with me on this Monday morning. I think it's time now. It's Monday morning for me anyway. It's time now for breakfast and another cup of tea before we get into the day. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you all later in the week. In the meantime, have a beautiful week.